live from North Vancouver. My name's Steven. We're gonna bake some bagels today. Like we do every day, or most days. 5 days a week usually. Oh, good morning. Welcome. Sorry,
so soothing. Mod. Oh, hey, thanks. Yeah, thanks for helping with mod. That's cool. Hello, welcome. I'm doing well, thank you. I'm making bagels, not pizza, by the way. I just added the honey. I'm gonna add my first batch right now. I haven't had much need for modding yet, so mod. Oh, you need to give them the mod. Okay, I'll do that later, maybe. That matches the. Okay, you should make so he may help you. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, sure. Thank you. What's in the box? What box? Oh, those are bagels. They're yeah, we don't make the bagels on location. We make them at a central commissary kitchen. Oh wow, okay. Oh my god. Can I set the moderator right now, or here? Let me try this. I'll have to do it later. Sorry. It's on a cell phone, right? So I'm not exactly sure. I should get baking, so. Okay. I've been baking, I've been working in this industry for about 15 years. When I was going to university, I worked at an organic bakery called Prairie Mill Bread Company in Calgary, whatever you want to say, I don't know. Oh, okay. I guess I need to rotate the phone though, I think, here. A sec. I don't know, my phone's being dumb right now. What the hell? So I'm gonna have to do it later. Yeah, so yeah, I've been baking for about 15 years. I've worked in the food industry for most of my adult life though. Yeah, it's a nice place. Yeah, this bakery's only 5 years old, and yeah, they set it up really nice. Yeah, the oven's beautiful. Yeah, it's a beautiful kitchen. We keep them nice and clean. I have a really good. There's a couple other bakers that work here, and they're really good. They keep the place running smoothly. I just put my first batch in. They're on the bottom of the pot right now, cooking. Plate, food, and drink. Yeah, sometimes in. Am I in just chatting or am I in food and drink? I sometimes do alternate between the two. I don't know. I don't know if I should or not. Might be breaking some code or rule or. Yeah, it's currently 3:42 Pacific Northwest time. I need to warm up more. I should bake. I just lost my breath for some reason. My breath. Oh, it's too hot in here today. Can't play the recorder today. I need a little bit more warm-up time. It's cooking in here today. Yeah, it's really hot in here. Yeah, recorder and bagels. I usually can play better. I'm feeling some bodily stress right now from the heat, and it's my first day back from a couple days off, and I haven't played the recorder in a few days, so I'm a little bit rusty, neglected, derelict. The oven, this oven could probably melt metal. We've accidentally let it go up to 800 degrees Fahrenheit, which is not good because I think you can start melting metal with that. But that was somebody left it on overnight by accident, which you can't do. They left it on maximum, and it got up to 800 degrees Fahrenheit, which is really dangerous, and I don't think we've ever done that again. But so we have better what do you call it? POS or standard practice, whatever you call it. But the oven right now is 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and keep your comments short. I can't really read long comments like that. Okay. Yeah, this is why I need moderators, I guess, eh? Haha. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to read any comments when getting spammed like that. Fuck. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. Slow that shit down. There goes the chat. Yeah, I should be in food and drink. I may have accidentally gone into just chatting, but oh my god, what? 300 viewers? What the hell's going on? Twitter, Twitch, Twitter, whatever. What is going on with you? If anybody's wondering, I'm making bagels. I can't read your comments because they go by too fast, so unfortunately, there goes the opportunity to have a chat with anybody. I guess I could recite some poetry for you though, since we're not going to be chatting much. Anyways, here's the Pied Piper of Hamelin. Hamelin Townsend Brunt. This is a poem by Robert Browning, by the way. He's a Victorian poet, an English Victorian poet. I guess that's the only kind of Victorian poet there would be. I would think there would be other people from other cultures that were writing poetry at the same time, but they would not be called Victorians because they would not be Victorians. Okay, I'm gonna put my next batch in. I just put my first batch into the oven. We got some sesame seed in there. My plate skirt, Drizzy, that's actually pretty awesome. I've never seen bagels. Oh yeah, these are Montreal style bagels. Montreal. I'll recite the poem later here. I got a little bit distracted. Maybe I'll tell you a little bit about the bagels. So these are Montreal style bagels. Montreal style bagels are, they have a really hard crust and a dense chewy crumb, which differentiates them from Montreal style bagels in a few ways. New York style bagels. New York style bagels tend to be a little bit bigger. They're a little bit more bready. They're not as dense. Yeah, they're more like soft white bread, I guess. Whereas a Montreal style bagel is more like pretzel, I guess. Sort of like a pretzel. A cross between, yeah, Montreal style bagel is like sort of a cross between a pretzel and a piece of bread. And a Montreal or New York style bagel is like a cross between a donut and a piece of bread. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good analogy. That's what I think. I tend to eat a lot of Montreal style bagels, so I haven't. I've eaten a few New York style. They're good. I don't know. Bagels are good in general. I make about 1,000 bagels a day. About 800 to 1,000. There's each batch has 32 bagels in it. So every time I put a batch of bagels in the pot, that's 32 bagels. And I do about 30 to 40 batches per day. Yeah, we're in a pretty busy part of the city here. A lot of foot traffic in this area. It's also our busy time of the season here. We get a lot of tourists in this part of the city. North Vancouver is a really, it attracts a lot of tourism in the summertime. I work alone in the morning. I have coworkers that come in around, the first coworker comes in at 6:30. So I'm alone half of the day. I'm alone from like 2:30. I start my shift at 2:30. And yeah, we're in North Vancouver here. I start my shift at 2:30 and it ends at 10:30. And so I'm here most of the shift by myself. Oh yeah, the poem. He's famous. Yeah. Yeah, I can recite the poem here. Let's read some more comments. Nice. You should tell BK to come by and get some bagels. Yeah, I can recite I'll do the Declaration of Independence. I usually do that one near the end. No, I don't own the place. I'm just a baker here. I'm the oven is so the oven is at the thermometer says 386. That's a sort of a general temperature. The actual temperature is about 400 degrees at the back and probably about 350 at the front. And the oven is, I don't know the exact dimensions, but the oven is about 10 feet deep. Well, let's see. So, actually no, it's about, these boards are 8 feet long. So yeah, they're about, the oven's about 8 feet deep. I guess it'd be about seven from here. And it's 8 from the deck, or like from the shelf on the deck. Can I ship you a bagel? I don't know if I could. Yeah, probably. I don't know if it'd get there to you fresh. These bagels are these bagels have no preservatives, so they're actually best eaten within 2 to 3 days. I find. I like the bagels like. I'm sort of lucky. I'm spoiled. I get to eat the bagels when they come out of the oven. So that's like when I like them. I like them when they're like within an hour of coming out of the oven. But I'm really spoiled, so I know not everybody can get fresh bagels like that. So yeah. You mean sucks at parking? Vancouver sucks at parking or PKing? I'm not sure what PKing is. It does suck at parking though. If that's what you mean, I don't know. I'm not sure what PKing is. I assumed it was a shortening. I usually like a donation button. Okay, I tried doing that. I tried setting that up in the panel. I couldn't find the extension for that. I'll do that again. I'm not sure why people would want to donate to me though. It seems weird. I'm from a different generation though. I'm not a millennial. I don't understand this shit very well. I was like born right on the brink of millennialism. Millennialists. So what I'm doing right now is moving the bagels to the center of the oven, so that that's where they want to be. That is the best place for them to be brown, because they're not too hot, they're not too close to the flame. Oh my God, it's gonna be a scorcher today. It's gonna be 28 degrees here in North Vancouver. Okay, I'll do a poem. While I do the poem, I don't really respond to chat. So I'm not really. It's a little hard to read and recite at the same time. I get really. It causes neural confusion, cognitive confusion, or whatever. So this is a poem by Robert Browning, and it's 303 lines long. And it's called The Pied Piper of Hamelin, and it was written. I don't know the exact date that it was written, but it was probably written mid-19th century. It's Victorian. Robert Browning was a contemporary with Emily Dickinson and the Rossettis, Dante Rossetti, Christina Rossetti. Who else was there? I think Lord Byron is Victorian. Okay, I'll just get to the poem anyway. Hamelin Towns in Brunswick, by famous Hanover City. The river Weser deep and wide washes its wall on the southern side. A pleasanter spot you've never spied. But when begins my ditty, almost 500 years ago, to see the townsfolk suffer so from vermin was a pity. The rats, they fought the dogs and killed the cats and bit the babies in the cradles and ate the cheeses from the vats and licked the soup from the cook's own ladles. Split open the kegs of salted sprats, made nests the men's Sunday hats, and even spoiled the women's chats by drowning out their speaking with shrieking and squeaking in 50 different sharps and flats. At last the people in a body to the town hall came flocking. "'Tis clear," cried they, "our mayor is a naughty, and as for our corporation, shocking, to think we buy gowns lined with ermine, for dogs who can't or won't determine what's best to rid us of our vermin. You hope because you're old and obese to find in furry civic robes ease. Rouse up, sirs, give your brains a racking, to find the remedy we are lacking, or sure as fate will send you packing." At this the mayor and corporation quaked with a mighty consternation. An hour they sat in council. At length the mayor broke silence. "For a guilder, I'd my ermine gown sell. I wish I were a mile hence. It's easy to bid one rack one's brain. I'm sure my poor head aches again. I scratch it so, but all in vain. Oh, for a trap, a trap, a trap." Just as he said this, what you have at the chamber door but a gentle tap. "Bless us," cried the mayor, "what's that?" With the corporation as he sat, looking little through wondrous fat, nor brighter were his eyes, nor moister than a too long opened oyster, save when at noon his paunch grew mutinous for a plate of turtle green and glutinous. Only a scraping of shoes on a mat, anything like the sound of a rat makes my heart go pit-a-pat. "Come in," cried the mayor, looking bigger, and it did come the strangest figure. His long queer coat from heel to head was half yellow and half red, and he himself was tall and thin, with sharp blue eyes, each like a pin.
and lightly hair and swarthy skin, nor tuft of hair on cheek, nor beard on chin. The lips or smile went out and in, there was no guessing his kith or kin, and nobody could enough admire this tall man in his quaint attire. Quoth one, it's as my great-grandsire, starting up at the trunk of Doom's tome, had walked this way from his painted tombstone. He advanced towards the council table, and please, your honor, said he, I am able, by means of secret charm to draw all the creatures living beneath the sun, to crawl or swim or fly or run, after me so as you never saw. I chiefly use my charm on creatures that do people harm, the mole and toad, newt and viper, and people call me the Pied Piper. And here they notice round his neck a scarf of red and yellow stripe to match with his coat of self-same check. And that scarf's end hung a pipe, and his fingers they noticed were ever straying, as if impatient to be playing upon this pipe, as low it dangled over his vesture soul fangled. Yes, said he, Pied Piper as I am, in Tartary I bred the cam, last June from his huge swarms of gnats. I eased an Asia the Nizam of a monstrous brood of vampire bats. And as for what his brain bewilders, if I rid your town of rats, will you give me 1,000 guilders? 50,000 was the expedition of the astonished American corporation. Once more he stepped into the street, and to his lips again laid his own pipe, and to his lips again laid his own pipes. Into the street Piper stepped, smiling first a little smile, as if he knew what magic stepped in his quiet pipe a while. Like a musical adept to blow his pipe, his lips he wrinkled, and green and blue his sharp eyes twinkled, like a candle flame where salt is sprinkled. And ere 3 shrill notes of pipe uttered, you heard as if an army muttered, and the muttering grew to a grumbling, and the grumbling grew to a mighty rumbling, and out of the houses came the rats tumbling. Great rats, small rats, lean rats, brawny rats, brown rats, black rats, gray rats, tawny rats, grave old plotters, gay young friskers, fathers, mothers, uncles, cousins, cocking tails and pricking whiskers, families by tens and dozens, brothers, sisters, husbands, wives, followed the Pied Piper for their lives. From street to street he piped advancing, and step for step they followed dancing, until they came to the river Weser, wherein all plunged and perished, save one who stout as Julius Caesar, swam across and lived to carry, as he the manuscript he cherished, to Ratland home as commentary, which was, at first shrill notes of the pipe, heard a sound as a scraping tripe, putting apples wondrous right into the cider present dry. Excuse me, I got a little bit of a dry throat. So I'm just gonna get us some water here. Okay, where was I? Into the street the Piper stepped, smiling first a little smile, as if he knew what magic slept in his quiet pipe a while. Like a musical head after blow his pipe his lips. Oh my god. Excuse me. I don't know if I can finish this. Okay, let me try again. Into the street the Piper stepped, smiling first a little smile, as if he knew it magic slept in his pipe. As if he knew it. Into the street the Piper stepped, smiling first a little smile, as if he knew what magic stepped in his quiet pipe a while. Like a musical elf kept to blow his pipe, his lips wrinkled, and green and blue his sharp eyes twinkled, like a candle flame where salt is sprinkled. And ere 3 shrill notes the pipe uttered, you heard as if an army muttered, and the muttering grew to a grumbling, and the grumbling grew to a mighty rumbling, and out of the houses came the rats tumbling, great rats, small rats, lean rats, brawny rats, brown rats, black rats, gray rats, tawny rats, grave old plotters, gay young friskers, fathers, mothers, uncles, cousins, cocking tails and pricking whiskers, families by tens and dozens, brothers, sisters, husbands, wives, followed the Pied Piper for their lives. From street to street he piped advancing, and step for step they followed dancing, until they came to the river Weser, wherein all plunged and perished, save one who stout as Julius Caesar, swam across and lived to carry, as he the manuscript he cherished, to Ratland home as commentary, which was, at first shrill notes of the pipe, heard a sound as a scraping tripe, and putting apples wondrous right into the cider presses bright, and moving away on pickle tub boards, leaving a jar of cod served cupboards, and drawing the corks of train off flasks, and breaking newts of butter casts. Then seemed as if a voice, sweeter far than by harp or by solar is breathed, called out, "Oh, rats, rejoice! The world has grown to a vast dry saltery. So munch on, crunch on, take your munch on, breakfast, supper, dinner, lunch on, and just a bulky sugar punch on, already staved like a great sun shone. Gracious scarce an inch before me, just as me thought it said come bore me, I found the west rolling over me." Oh my God, sorry. I got a tickle in my throat. "You should have heard the Hamlin people ring the bells, they rock the steeple. Go," cried the mayor, "get long poles, poke out the nest and block up the holes. Consult with carpenters and builders, leaving out town not even a trace of the rats." When suddenly up the face of the piper perked in the marketplace, "The first, if you please, my 1,000 guilders." 1,000 guilders? The mayor looked blue, so did the corporation too. For council dinners made rare havoc with curry, Moselle, Vin de Gras, coffee. But half the money would replenish the seller's biggest butter breadish. To pay this sum to a wondering fellow, with gypsy coat, red and yellow. "Besides," quoth the mayor with a knowing wink, "our business is done at the river's brink. We saw with our eyes vermin sink, and what's dead can't come to life, I think. So, friend, we're not folk to shrink from our duty of giving you something to drink, and a matter of money to put in your poke. But as for the guilders, what we spoke of them, as you well know, was a joke." The mayor was blue and the council stood as if they were changed a block of wood. Oh my God. Sorry, I've sort of lost my my track of mind here. Consciousness. My little coughing fit there sort of interrupted things. Oh my God. Maybe I'll do a different poem. I sort of botched that one. Bloopered it. Oh. Sorry, I got a tickle, a tickly throat today. Oh. It's not really the best thing to have when you're trying to recite poetry. I'll try something else in a minute here.
Sorry everything's so jank today. I feel janky today. So it's gonna be a janky day. It's gonna be jank. Okay, I think I feel better now. I've gotten rid of the tickle in my throat. I should warm up before I do this. That was my warm up. Excuse me. I went camping on my days off. And I've been breathing camp smoke all week, or for a couple days. I've been not a week. For a couple days, I've been. That's all I've been breathing is camp smoke. So I think that's one of the reasons why I have a tickle in the back of my throat today. And I'm getting over a little bit of a cold. Hopefully, hopefully this is the end of it. Okay, I'm gonna try something else. This is a story. This story is called Rollin' Pine and the Oven Blade. It's based on an Italian folktale by Italo Calvillo from his anthology Italian Folktales. There once was a young man named Rollin' Pine who played the recorder when he wasn't baking bagels. One day he was walking through a park and playing his recorder to rest a while from all his baking, when suddenly he spied a corpse lying on the ground beneath a swarm of flies. He put down his recorder, walked over to the corpse, shooed the flies away, and covered the dead man in stones. Returning to his oven later that day, he found that his oven blade had gone on by itself and already baked half the bagels he needed. From that day on, Rollin' Pine was the happiest baker alive. He'd pull his recorder out of his pocket while his oven blade went on by itself. But Rollin' Pine lived in a town whose mayor did not admire his skill and was jealous of his fame. So the mayor devised a plan to rid the town of Rollin'. In the beginning he said that Rollin' was a good worker, but lazy. Next he said that Rollin' baked the whole lot, but badly. Then he accused Rollin' of being a sorcerer, and the people turned on him. Therefore, Rollin' Pine took his recorder and left his home behind. When Rollin' Pine came to a neighboring town, he went to all the business owners, but none of them would give him any work. Finally, he met an old busker and asked him for work to keep body and mind together. "Come along with me," said the old man, "and we will share alms together." So Rollin' Pine and the old man started going around and singing, "Baker, why do you bear those silent things? Baker, how did you forget to stand where your feet are? Baker, no woman loves you well, although it is golden and good for hell. Baker, you are too dirty for a lover to wish to clean. Your limbs are the knots and cords of an old-fashioned machine. Baker, line the rings and bash the boards. You don't need their applause for a thing that is yours. You are a baker, and are what you are, not by a miracle, but by the work of your arms. Baker, be who you are." Everybody gave alms to the old man, but to Rollin' they said, "What is a young man like you out begging? Why don't you work for a living?" "Nobody will hire me," replied Rollin' Pine. "That's what you say. There is a king with so many hungry soldiers, and he'll pay good wages to anyone willing to feed them." So Rollin' Pine went to the king's kitchen and took the old man whose alms he'd been sharing. The oven had never been used by anyone. Rollin' mixed the dough, then he rolled it into rings. Then he boiled them, dressed them with seeds, and baked them until they're golden brown. Then he tossed them into a crate to cool down. Whenever Rollin' wearied of baking, he'd play his recorder. And once he was weary of playing his recorder, he would sing, "Baker, why do you bear those silent things? Baker, how did you forget to stand where your feet are? Baker, no woman loves you well, although it is golden and good for health.
Baker, you are too dirty for a lover to wish to clean. Your limbs are the knots cords of an old-fashioned machine. Baker line rings and bash the boards. You don't need their applause for a thing that is yours. You are a baker, and are what you are, not by a miracle, but by the work of your arms. Baker, be who you are. Hearing the singing, a princess looked out the window. She saw Roland Pine and fell in love with him. But she was a princess, and he a baker. The king would never consent to their marriage. So they decided to run away together. They fled at night in a boat. When they were already on the high seas, Roland remembered the busker. He said to his beloved, "We must fetch the old man, since he shared his alms with me. We can't go off and leave him like that." At that very moment, the old man came up behind the boat, walking on the water as though it had been dry land. Reaching the boat, he said, "We agreed to divide everything we had, and I shared everything I owned. Now you have the king's daughter, and must give half of her to me." At this, he gave Roland Pine a knife to cut his bride in two. Roland Pine took the knife with a trembling hand. "You are right," he said. "You are perfectly right." He was on the point of cutting his bride in two, when suddenly the old man stopped him. "Stop. I knew you were a just man. I am the dead man, mind you, whom you covered with stones. Go now, and may the two of you always be happy." The old man walked away on the waves. The boat came to an island rich in all good things, with a princely palace awaiting the newlyweds. The end. That was Roland Pine and the Other Blade. Just need to brown them again on one side. Sorry, I'll read some comments now, sorry. Oh, thank you. Oh. Yeah, thanks. I only know a few. I know a couple. I know two long poems, a couple short stories. I'm memorizing another short story and another long poem, but they're in progress right now. Can you read me a bedtime story, Daddy? Yeah, I guess that would be a bedtime story. I think it would need some explanation. I think children need it to be some interpretation. It's probably a PG-13 kind of story. I don't know, cutting your bride in two is a little bit scary. What else? Burying a dead man under stones. His resurrection, I think that's a little bit, I don't know. It's sort of, there's a lot of echoes in that story. There's like the Abraham story, like the sacrifice, the old man tells him he needs to cut his bride in half, and then at the very end he tells him not to. That's sort of like the Abrahamic story. And then there's a resurrection. There's a lot of biblical stories echoed in this folk tale. Let me try Pied Piper of Hamelin again. I think my throat is cleared out a bit. Sorry. Trying to cough into my shirt as much as I can. I think it's sort of slowly clearing out my throat here. I love those. I love these Italian folk tales because there's so many echoes of other stories. It seems like a very syncretic kind of
storytelling tradition. I mean, the Greek, the Roman civilization in that area is like so deep, and, ancient, obviously, very ancient. Let me check. Here's my first batch. I'm gonna take out. I think it's ready here. Yeah, it's ready. Let me show you how to take the bagels out of the oven. So I don't know if I can do that. I'll put them down here. Had too many on my paddle. I'll show you. Put these ones in the basket. I got most of them in there. That's sort of tricky doing it from there. Lost a couple bagels. Bagels down. This table's too tall. At the other locations, the table's just right. This one's still a little too low. I'm using a shiva. This is called a shiva, and it has a dull edge, and it's a pain to use right now. So hot in here. It's a terrible time to have a bad shiva. The shiva makes it a little bit harder to work fast, efficiently, when it's dull. Okay, I'm gonna try Pied Piper of Hamelin again. I think I can do it now. My throat is a little bit. Oh, there you go. I got an itch there. Okay. This is Pied Piper of Hamelin. Let's do it again. Hamelin towns in Brunswick, my famous Hanover city. The river Weser deep and wide washes its wall on the southern side. A pleasanter spot you've never spied. But when begins my ditty, almost 500 years ago, to see the townsfolk suffer so from vermin was a pity. Rats, they fought the dogs and killed the cats, and bit the babies in the cradles, and ate the cheeses from the vats, and licked the soup from the cook's old ladles, split open the kegs of salted sprats, made nests of men's Sunday hats, and even spoiled the women's chats by drowning out their speaking, shrieking and squeaking in 50 different sharps and flats. At last the people in a body to the town hall came flocking. "'Tis clear," cried they, "our mayor is a naughty, and as for our corporation, shocking, to think we buy gowns lined with ermine, for dolts who can't or won't determine what's best to rid us of our vermin. You hope because you're old and obese to find in the furry civic robes ease. Rouse up, sirs, use your brains are lacking,
find the remedies we are lacking, for sure as fate will send you packing. At this, the mayor and corporation quaked the mighty consternation. An hour they sat in council. At length the mayor broke silence. For a gilder eyed my early gown cell. I wish I were a mile hence. It's easy a big one racked with brain. I'm sure my forehead aches again. I scratch it so, but all in vain. Oh, for a trap, a trap, a trap. Gypsy said this what you have. At the chamber door, but a gentle tap. What's us? Cried the mayor. What's that? With the corporation as he sat, looking little to wonder his fat. Nor brighter were his eyes, nor moister than a too long open oyster, save when it knew his paunch grew muteness, or a plate of turtle green and glutinous. Only a scraping of shoes on a mat, anything like the sound of a rat makes my heart go pit-a-pat. Come in, cried the mayor, looking bigger, and in did come the strangest figure. His long queer coat from heel to head was half yellow and half red, and he himself is tall and thin, with sharp blue eyes, each like a pin, and light his hair and swarthy skin, nor tufts of hair on cheek nor beard on chin. But lips or smile went out and in, there was no guessing his tip or pin, and nobody could enough admire this tall man in his quaint attire. Quoth one, it's as my great-grandsire, starting up at the trump of doom's tone, had walked this way from his painted tombstone. He advanced towards the council table, and please, Your Honor, said he, I am able, by means of secret charm to draw all the creatures living beneath the sun, that crawl or swim or fly or run, after me so as you never saw. And I chiefly use my charm on creatures that do people harm, the mole and toad and newt and viper, and people call me the Pied Piper. And here they notice round his neck a scarf of red and yellow stripe, to match with his coat of self-same check. And that scarf's end hung a pipe, and his fingers they noticed were ever straying, as if impatient to be playing upon this pipe, as low it dangled, over his vesture old fangled. Yes, said he, Pied Piper as I am, in Tartaria bred the cam, last June from his huge swarms of gnats. I eased in Asia the Nizam of a monstrous brood of vampire bats. And as for what your brain bewilders, if I rid your town of rats, will you give me 1,000 guilders? 50,000 was the exclamation of astonished mayor and corporation. Into the street the piper stepped, smiling first a little smile, as if he knew what magic slept in his quiet pipe a while. Like a musical adept, blow his pipe, his lips he wrinkled, and green and blue his sharp eyes twinkled, like a candle flame where salt is sprinkled. And ere 3 shrill notes the pipe uttered, he heard as if an army muttered, and the muttering grew to a grumbling, and the grumbling grew to a mighty rumbling, and out of the houses came the rats tumbling, great rats, small rats, lean rats, brawny rats, brown rats, black rats, gray rats, tawny rats, grave old plotters, gay young friskers, fathers, mothers, uncles, cousins, cocking tails and pricking whiskers, families by tens and dozens, brothers, sisters, husbands, wives, followed the Pied Piper for their lives. From street to street he piped advancing, and step for step they followed dancing, until they came to the river Weser, wherein all plunged and perished, save one who stout as Julius Caesar, swam across and lived to carry, as he the manuscript he cherished, to Ratland home as commentary, which was, at first shrill notes of the pipe, heard a sound as of scraping tripe, and putting apples wondrous ripe into the cider presses bright, and a moving away of pickle tub boards, leaving a jar of concert cupboards, a drawing of corks of train oil flasks, and breaking them to butter casks. And it seemed as if a voice, sweeter far than by harbor by Salisbury's breed, called out, "Oh, rats, rejoice! The world is grown to a vast risaltery. So munch on, crunch on, take your lunch on, breakfast, supper, dinner, lunch on, and just a bulky sugar punch on, all in stave like the great sun shone, gracious scarce an inch before me, just as me thought it said come bore me, I found the Weser rolling over me. You should have heard the Hamlin people ring the bells so they rock the steeple. Go, cried the mayor, and get long poles, poke with the nets and block up the holes, consult with carpenters and builders, leaving our town not even a trace of the rats, when suddenly up the face of the piper perked in the marketplace, with the first of these, 1,000 guilders. 1,000 guilders? The mayor looked blue, so did the corporation too, for council dinners made rare havoc with Claret, Moselle, Vin, de Grave, Hawk, and half the money would replenish the cellar's biggest butt of Rhenish, to pay this sum to a wondering fellow with gypsy coat of red and yellow. Besides, quoth the mayor with a knowing wink, our business was down at the river's brink. We saw with your eyes the vermin sink, and what's dead can't come to life, I think. So, friend, we're not folks to shrink from our duty of giving you something to drink. In the matter of money, put in the coat. But as for guilders, what we spoke, of them as you all know was a joke. Besides, at losses made us thrifty. 1,000 guilders, come, take 50. The piper's face fell, and he cried, no trifling, I can't wait beside. I come as a visit by Tunisian Baghdad, and accept the crime the head cook's partage. All he's rich and crabbing left in the Caleb's kitchen. Of an F's scorpions, no survivor. With him I prove no bargain driver. When you don't think I'll bait a stiver, and folks who put me in a passion, you find me pipe after another fashion. How, cried the mayor, do you think I brook, being worse treated than a cook, insulted by a rival, with idle pipe and vesture Bible? Threaten us, fellow, do your worst, pull your pipe here till you burst. Once more he stepped into the street, to his empty game laid his long pipe with smooth straight cane. Canary blew 3 notes, such sweet soft notes that musicians cunning never gave the enraptured air. There was a rustling that seemed like blessing, a merry crowds jostling, a pitching and hustling. Small feet were pattering, wood juice clattering, little hands clapping, and little tongues chattering, like foals in a farmer the barley is scattering. Out came the children running, all the little boys and girls, with rosy cheeks and flaxen curls, and sparkling eyes and teeth like pearls, tripping and skipping around merrily after. The wonderful music was shouting and laughter. The mayor was dumb when the council stood, as if they're changed of blocks of wood, unable to move a step or cry, to the children merrily skipping by, could only follow with an eye that joyous crowd of the piper's back, and how the mayor was on the rack, and the wretched council's bosom beat, as the pipe returned from the high street, to where the rest had rolled its waters, right in the way of their sons and daughters. However, he turned from south to west, and took off to Puppleburg Hill his steps addressed, and after him the children pressed, great was the joy in every breast. He never crossed the mighty top, he's forced to let the piping drop, and we shall see our children stop. When lo, they reached the mountainside, a wondrous portal opened wide, as if a cavern was suddenly hollowed. The piper advanced, and the children followed, and when all were in to the very last, the door of the mountainside shut fast. Did I say all? No, one was lame, and could not dance all the way. And in after years, as you blame his sadness, he used to say, his dull on our counsels my playmates left, I can't forget that I'm bereft of all the pleasant sights they see, which the piper also promised me. For he led us, he said, to a joyous land, joined the town in jest at hand, where waters gushed and fruit trees grew, and flowers before the fairer view, and everything was strange and new. The sparrow was bright a peacock here, their dogs are ran our fellow deer, and honeybees had lost their stings, and horses were born with eagle's wings. And just as I became assured, my lame folk be speedily cured, the music stopped, and I stood still, and found myself outside the hill, left behind the gates my will, to go now limping as before, and never hear of that country more. Alas, alas for Hamelin, there came to many a murder's pate, a text which says that heaven's gate opes the rich at his easy rate, as the needle's eye takes camel in. The mayor sent east, west, north, and south, coughed the piper by word of mouth, wherever was men's lot to find him, silver and gold to his heart's content, if only he'd return the way he went, and bring the children behind him. But when they saw it was lost and never, and piper and dancer were gone forever, they made a decree that lawyers never should think their records dated duly, if at the day of the month and year these words do not as well appear. And so long after what happened here, on the 22nd of July, 1376, and the better memory to fix the place of the children's last retreat, they called it Pied Piper Street, where anyone playing piper tabor was sure for his future lose his labor, nor suffered they hospital or tavern, shock with words the streets so solemn, and opposite the place of the cavern, they wrote the story on a column, and on great church window painted, the same to make the world acquainted, how their children were stolen away, and there it stands this very day. And I must not admit to say, in Transylvania there is a tribe of alien people who ascribe the way and dress of which their neighbors lay such stress on their fathers and mothers having risen out of some subterranean prison into which they were trepanned a long time ago in a mighty band out of Hamlin towns and Brunswick land. But how or why they don't understand. So, Lily, let me and you be wipers of scores out with old men, especially pipers, and if they should pipe us free from rats or from mice, if we promise them aught, let us keep our promise. That was Pied Piper Hamlin by Rebert Browning. Rebert Browning, let me read some comments. No, I can't really play the recorder right now. Sorry. 45. Shiva me timbers. That's, yeah, nice. Yeah. Sorry, I can't play. It's a little too hectic to play the recorder right now. Maybe in a minute here. I don't know. I can't play it with gloves on. So. And what am I doing now? I have to do some more. I'll be back in 1 minute. I just need to go to the back for a second. Whoa. Yeah, I usually play the recorder at the very beginning, right before I start. Then I can wash my hands and then put my gloves on. So that's the reason why I play the recorder at the very start. It's a little hard to play in the middle of things. I could try, I guess, but what's my favorite bagel? Cinnamon. Cinnamon with peanut butter and jam is my staple. I probably eat one of those every day, at least every day that I work anyways. And my second favorite for like sandwiches, I'll get the rosemary rock salt or sesame. And sometimes everything's good, well, occasionally. I don't like everything all the time, but everything's good occasionally. We got 3 batches in the oven, 1 in the pot and 2 in the crate. I'm learning I know a bunch of Handel, Bach. I'm still pretty new to the instrument.
Fortunately, when I was younger, I learned how to play the piano a bit. I don't play it very well anymore. I haven't practiced it in a while. But I was able, when I started the recorder about 2 years ago, I started playing it about 2 or 3 years ago. I was able to read music, so it was actually pretty easy to learn. It took a little practice. Like the recorders, it's a deceptively, like people think of it as being an easy instrument. It's an easy instrument to learn, but it's a hard instrument to master, I think. And but it's such a versatile little instrument. Like you can carry it anywhere. It sounds beautiful. It's not very loud, but so you sort of have to mic it up if you want to play for a big audience, I guess. But Celine, no, I don't know anything by Celine Dion. I could try to learn some. I could probably try to learn that song though. Heart Will Go On. Yeah, I'll try to learn that. Yeah, if you guys have any requests, I'll try to learn the songs if you have any song requests. I'm not hugely talented. I can play by ear, but it takes a little bit of skill. So some guy's walking by with his dogs and smiled at me. It must be weird to see somebody streaming at this time of day. There's a bunch of windows right here. People walk by. It's currently 4:42 right now, but here in Vancouver. Oh, thank you. Yeah, okay, I'll try to learn that. I'll try to learn the Titanic theme. I'm like the recorder is like you can play any song on the recorder. That's the beautiful. I think that's why it's called a recorder, is because it's like a recorder. It has every song that could ever be written can be played by it, pretty much. It's the infinite recorder. It's a magical instrument, that's for sure. That's why I love the Pied Piper so much, because it because of the recorder. Let's do another. I know the child roll into a dark tower came. It's also by Robert Browning. Robert B. Aurney. He's one of my favorite poets. I took a Victorian. I have a university degree, and in English, a minor. I have a minor in English. My degree is Bachelor of Communication and Culture with a double minor in English and Art. And so I took a Victorian poetry course in my 3rd or 4th year. Yes, Robert Browning is one of my favorite. And that's where I was introduced to Victorian poetry for one of the first times. I think I'd read some random poems, probably Emily Dickinson or something like that. And but ever since that I took that course, I've just loved Victorian poetry. So the Victorians were a very literate culture. At least the elites were very literate. Literate. I like literary culture. What do I love? I love Victorian poetry. Is like it's very baroque. It has a lot of complexity. The poets at the time were really experimenting with form and storytelling, and I think a lot of the stories that were written in the Victorian period are stories that we still tell, like Frankenstein, and like those stories are just like some of the most iconic stories ever written or told in human history, really.
and they were written by Victorians, so I don't know. I just think it was one of the greatest generations of literary genius. So, I mean, every generation has their literary geniuses, but I think the Victorians are a little bit. They have an overabundance of it, I think. They had a rich literary education or something. I could do Child Roll into a Dark Arcane. Let me just organize my oven here a bit. I'm going to read some comments first, then I'll do the poem in a second here. I'm not a musical genius. Like I can play by ear, but I have to listen to the song over and over again, and like figure out the notes, note by note, sort of painstaking. But I'll try to learn this. I'll try to learn that Celine Dion song. I like learning all kinds of songs, so. I was learning Louis Armstrong's It's a Wonderful World the other day. And Somewhere Over the Rainbow, that's the other one. Okay, this is Child Rolling to a Dark Tower King. My first thought was he lied in every word, that hoary cripple with malicious eye, askance to watch the working of his lie on mine, and mouth scarce able to afford suppression of the glee that pursed and scored its edge at one more victim gained thereby. What else should he be set for with his staff? What saved the waylay with his lies and snare? All travelers who might find him posted there. And asked the road, I guessed what skull-like laugh would break, what crutch can write my epitaph or pastime in the dusty thoroughfare. If at his counsel I should turn aside into ominous crack which all agree hides the dark tower, yet acquiescingly I'd turn as he pointed, neither pride nor hope rekindling at the end descried, so much as gladness some end might be. For what with my whole world wide wondering, what with my search drawn out through years, my hope dwindled into a ghost not fit to cope with that obstreper's joy success would bring. I hardly tried now to rebuke the spring my heart made finding failure in its scope. As a sick man very near to death seems dead indeed, and feels begin and end the tears, and takes the farewell of each friend, and hears one bid the other go, draw breath freely outside, since all is over, he saith, and a blow fallen, no grieving can amend. While some discusseth near the graves be room enough for this, and when a day suits best for carrying the corpse away, with caribou banners, scarfs, and staves, and still the man hears all and only craves, he may not shame such tender love and stay. Thus I had for so long suffered in this quest, heard failure prophesied so lofty grit, so many times among the band of wit, the knights who to dark tower searching dressed their steps, the justice fail as they see best, and all doubtless how should I be fit. So quiet as despair I turned from him, that hateful cripple, out of his highway into the path he pointed, all the day being a dreary on his chest, and dim was settling into his clothes, yet shot one grim red leer to see the plain catch its stray. For mark, no sooner was I fairly found, pledged the plain after a pace or two, then pause and throw backward a last view. Over the safe road 'twas gone, gray plain all round, nothing but plain to the horizon's bound. I must go on, naught else remained to do. So on I went. I think I never saw such stark ignoble nature. Nothing throve, for flowers as well expect to cedar grow, but chortled and spurred according to their law, might propagate their kind with none to awe. You think a bird being a treasure trove. No penry inertness and grimace, in some strange sort were the land's portion. See or close your eyes, said nature peevishly, and nothing skills, I can't help my case. 'Tis last judgment's fire must cure this place. Calcine its quads to set my prisoners free. If they're pushed in a ragged thistle stalk above its mates, its head was chalk. The bents were jealous else. What made the holes and rents in the dog's harsh sorest leaves? Bruises to walk, full hope of greenness. 'Tis a brute must walk, passion the life of brutes intense. As for the grass, it grew as scarce as hair in leprosy. Thin, dry blades pricked the mud which underneath it kneaded up with blood. One stiff, blind horse as every bone is stared, stood and stared. Every bone is stood that. Oh, I lost my place. Alive, he might be dead for aught I know, with red gaunt and callop neck astrain, and shut eyes beneath the rusty mane. Seldom went such grotesqueness with such woe. I never saw a brute I hated so. He must have been wicked to deserve such pain. I shut my eyes and turned them on my heart, as a man calls it wine before he fights. I asked for a drop of earlier, happier sights, ere fitly I could hope to play the part. Think first, fight afterward, the soldier's art. One taste of old time sets all to rights. Not it. I fancied Cuthbert's reddening face beneath his garniture of curly gold. Dear fellow, till I almost felt him fold. An arm in mine fixed me to that place, that way to be used. Alas, what night's disgrace, how at my heart's new fire left it cold. Giles then, the soul of honor, there he stands, frank as 10 years ago, when knighted first. An honest man should dare, he said he dares. Good, but the scene shifts. Fall with hangman's hand pinned to his breast the parchment. His own band reads it. Poor traitor spit upon and cursed. Better this present than a past like that. Back therefore to my darkening path. No sound, no sight as far as the eye can string. Will the night send a howler or a badass? When something on the dismal flat came to arrest my thoughts and change their train. A sudden little river crossed my path, as unexpected as a serpent came. No tides congenial to the glooms. This as a froth wide might have been a bath of the fiend's glowing hoof. To see the wrath of his black eddies lips be spat with flakes and spoons. So petty yet so spiteful, all along those scrubby alders kneeled over it. Drenched willows flung them headlong in a fit of route despair, a suicidal throng. The river which had done them all wrong, whatever that was, rolled by and deterred no wit. Which while I forded, good saints, how I feared to set my foot upon a dead man's cheek. He'd step to feel the spear I thrust to seek for hollows tangled in his hair or beard. It may have been a water rat I speared, but ugh, it sounded like a baby's shriek. Glad was I to reach other bank, now for a better country. Vain presage, who were the strugglers? What war did they wage? Whose savage trample could thus pad the dank soil to a plash? Toads in a poison tank, the wild cats in a red-hot cage. The fight must so have seemed in that foul, sir. What penned them there with all the plain to choose? No footstep leading through that horrid news. None out of it. Mad druids set to work their brains, no doubt, like galley slaves. Pits for his pastime Christians against Jews. And more than that, a furlong on, why there, what bad use was that engine for? That wheel or brake, not wheel, that harrow fit to reel men's bodies out like silk. With all the air of Tophet's tool, on earth left unaware, brought to sharpen its rusty teeth of steel. Then came some stub ground, once a wood, next a marsh it would seem. Now we are heard, desperate and gunless, so the fool finds mirth, makes the thing and mars it, till his mood changes and off he goes. Within a rude bog plain marsh, sand and stark black dirt. Now blotches rankling colored gay and grim, now patches where some leanness of the soil broke through mossy substances like oils. Then came a palmio, a cleft in him, a distorted bout that splits its rim, gaping at death and dies while it coils. As far as ever from the end, not in the distance but the evening dawn, point my footsteps further at the thought. Great black bird, Apollyon's bosom friend, sailed past, their beat his wide wings, dreading again. as it brushed my cap and chance the guide I sought. For looking up at where I somehow grew, the plain and given place all round and mountains with such names to Greece, the mere heights and deeps now still in view. How thus they surprised me solitude, how to get from there was no clear case. Yet half I seemed to recognize some trick of mischief had happened to me, God knows when, in a bad dream perhaps. Here ended then progress this way, when in the very nick of giving up one more time, came a click as when the trap sets you in the den. Burningly it came upon me all at once. This was the place. Those two hills crouched like two bulls locked horn and cord in fight, while to the left tall scalp mountain runs daughter and dozing at the very nuns after a lifetime of training for the sight. What in the midst lay but the tower itself, the round Scot turret, blind as a fool's heart, built of brown stone without a counterpart the whole world. The tempest mocking out points the ship and thus the unseen shelf. He strikes on only when timbers start. Not see, because of night perhaps, why day came back for that. Behind and left the dying sunset kindled to a cleft. The hills like two giants in the hunting lay, chin upon hand to see the game at bay, now stabbing and the creature to the heft. Not here, when noise was everywhere it told, increasing like a bell, names in my ears of lost adventurers, my peers, how such was strong and such was bold and such was fortunate, yet each of old, lost one moment now the woe of years. There they stood, ranged along the hillside met, to view the last of me, a living frame, for one more picture in a sheet of flame. I saw them and knew them all, and yet the dauntless that I said to my lips I said in blue, child rolling to a dark tower came. Now as child rolling to a dark tower came. Child rolling to a dark tower came. Go around, yeah. I would feel proud to make Gordon Ramsay puke. So nothing could make me happier to make him puke. But I can take some trolling. I can handle it. He's probably right. It would probably make Gordon Ramsay puke. Whatever. Actually, I think Gordon Ramsay would be very. I think he'd see what we're doing, and he would know that what we're doing is pretty fantastic. Gordon Ramsay would give us a thumbs up. He wouldn't puke. He's not that kind of guy. He actually seems like a pretty decent human being, despite the way he berates his reality TV contestants or whoever they are. His kitchen staff, his extras, whatever you would call them. So I can't read this shit. Friendly white shark. Who are you?
Crystal this morning for some reason. Yeah, the bagels are, we make our, the bagels are frozen here, and then we boil them. But all bagels are boiled whether they're frozen or not, so because they're frozen, they have to be boiled a bit longer. Just to thaw them out. But I've had them both ways, frozen and not frozen, and it doesn't make a difference. So to my taste buds, I'm sure Gordon Ramsay would gag on it, but whatever. Can't make everybody happy, can ya? Fortunately, Gordon Ramsay is not my boss, so I don't have to make him happy. He might one day be my customer, though. And I hope he enjoys our bagels if he ever chooses to consume one. If he's ever in Vancouver. He has a lucky chance of trying a rosemary rock salt bagel. Lucky chance. Let me tell you another story. This is another story based on an Italian folktale. It's called The Science of Laziness. There was once a rich man who had just one son, and the boy was dearly loved by his father. As everybody knows, the greatest scourge on earth for a rich man is work. Therefore, when his son turned 14, the father decided to send him to school to learn the science of laziness. On the same street as the rich man there lived a famous and highly respected professor who had never done a lick of work in his life he could get out of doing. The rich man called on him and found him stretched out in the garden under a fig tree, with a cushion under his head, a cushion under his back, and a cushion under his buttocks. Before talking to him, I must first see how he does, said the rich man to himself, and he hid behind a hedge to observe the man. The professor lay as still as a corpse with his eyes closed. The only time he moved was whenever he heard the thud of a ripe fig falling on the ground near where he lay. He would reach slowly out, bring the fruit to his mouth, and swallow it. Then he wouldn't stir again until another fig fell. This is just the professor my son needs, decided the rich man. And he came out from his hiding place, introduced himself, and asked the professor if he'd teach his son the science of laziness. Old man, answered the professor just above a whisper, don't talk so much. It tires me to listen to. If you want to bring your son up as you and I are, just send him to me. So the rich man went home, took his son by the hand, thrust a feathered pillow under his arm, and led him to the garden. I urge you, he told him, to do everything you see this professor of idleness do. The boy, who already had an inclination for that particular science, also stretched out beneath the fig tree. Observing his teacher, he saw him reach for every fig that fell and bring it to his mouth. Why should I work myself to death reaching for figs, he thought. And he lay there with his mouth wide open. Soon a fig fell into his mouth, and he let it go down slowly. Then another fig fell. This time it missed. He lay there perfectly still and murmured, why so wide of the mark?
thick thole into my mouth. Seeing how wise his pupil already was, the professor said, "Go on now. You have nothing to learn from me. You can even teach me something." So the boy went home to his father, who thanked heaven for having given him such a smart son. The end. That was the science of laziness.
Hey, welcome to the stream. Yeah, these are seeds. Yeah, the hot water. Once they come out of the hot water, I dress some of them with seeds. Yes. How many bagels have I made today? I've made 3 batches so far, so I've made 96. 96. No. I made 128 so far. This will be 160. 160. I've made 160 bagels so far. And I have 96 on the go. Sometimes rock salt. Our rosemary rock salt gets rock salt on the top. Plain gets nothing. Cinnamon gets nothing. Multigrains gets multigrain seed. Everything gets everything. Poppy seeds get poppy. Sesame gets sesame, obviously. What else? I think that's all. Those are all the toppings we have. Salt, multigrain, everything, sesame, poppy, rock salt. I already said that one. Yeah, I think that's all. Sometimes caraway seeds or garlic, minced garlic. They're $1.75 each.
The heart asks pleasure first, and then excuse from pain, and then those little anodynes that deaden suffering, and then to go to sleep, and then if it should be the will of its inquisitor, the liberty to die. That was a short poem by Emily Dickinson. I should learn some poetry by Elizabeth Barrett Browning, who was Robert Browning's wife, husband. Yeah, wife. Correct. He was her husband. And she was a really good poet too. She's Elizabeth Barrett Browning. She's pretty brown. Pretty really? Really? I don't know what I'm doing. on my brow today. How long have I baked for? I've worked at this job for almost 6 years now. So I've been making bagels for 6 years. But before that, I've worked in the food industry for most of my adult life. I started out as a cook, and I worked at Boston Pizza. I've been a pizza chef before. That was my first job after high school. I worked at Boston Pizza. While I was going to university, I worked at a bakery in Calgary called Prairie Mill Bread Company, and we made bread and cinnamon buns and all that kind of stuff. I worked for that company for about 5 years, so I probably baked for about 10-15 years. Combined experience, I guess, from previous jobs. I've worked in the food industry for many years now. So it's nearing the end of my stream. I usually end about 5:30. Thanks for whoever hosted me today. I appreciate it. I know that I wouldn't have had this many viewers if it wasn't for them. So thank you. I'll try to set up a moderator when I get home. Mod or whatever. I'll read some more comments in a minute here. Sorry, I can't read them from here. I have nearsightedness apparently. Okay, yeah, I'll play something. I have an iPhone 7. Oh, thank you, Gregory. Thank you. I don't deserve this kind of attention. I'm just a lowly old baker, after all. Lowly baker. The lowest of the professions. I'm one of the untouchables in our society. Bakers are one of the untouchables. I'm one of the untouchable. Yeah, okay, I'll take this batch out and then I'll try to play a song here. Lowly old bakers. Oh, thank you. Oh, good. Yeah, I like Twitch. It's a place where people can discover new things, right? Well, I mean, YouTube's a place to do that too. Twitch. Actually, I guess Twitch isn't really supposed to be used for that purpose. It's supposed to be for gaming, right? But, I'm sort of misusing Twitch. Files are ready. I should be using Periscope probably. Nobody watches Periscope anymore. Just rushing through. Okay, good. Oh, thank you. I appreciate everybody's I appreciate your comments today. I'm glad people are enjoying the stream. I'll play a song here. I'm a little bit unpracticed this morning. I went camping and I didn't play anything, so hopefully. Let me just warm up a bit. Oh, I feel really rusty right now. Rusty. Thanks for the hearts anyways though. Let me try something else. I don't know if I can do it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
That was Block, and the first one is Green Sleeves, which I think was written anonymously. I don't know who wrote it. Oh, I gotta flip these bagels.
Nice. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bagels, bagels, everyone loves bagels. Bagels, bagels, won't you eat them too? Junkies, flunks, and monkeys, and your parents too. Everybody loves bagels, bagels, won't you eat the bagels? Bagels, bagels, won't you eat them too? That's my theme song. I call it Bagels. Bagels. Bagels, bagels, everyone loves bagels. Bagels, bagels, won't you eat them too? Junkies, flunks, and monkeys, and your parents too. Bagels, bagels, everyone loves bagels. Bagels, bagels, won't you eat them too? Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue. Do, 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 do. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue. I'm not much of a singer. Or I should say I haven't put much effort into learning how to sing. Maybe I am a singer. I don't know. Bagels are the best. I agree. Thank you. Thank you for stating the obvious for us to observe. We got 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Then I'm going to get some coffee. Let's do some poppy seed. Here, I'll do a short one. This one is this is a Kids in the Hall sketch. One day, God said, this is what I'll do. I'll send down my son. I'll send him down to you to clear up this humpity-bumpity hullabaloo. His name will be Christ, and he'll never wear shoes, and his friends will all call him the King of the Jews. He didn't come in a plane, he didn't come in a jeep, he didn't come in the pouch of a high-jumping go beat. He rode in the black Saskatoon, the blackiest creature he ever could view. He rode into Jerusalem, home of the grumpy Jews, where false prophets were worshipped, some even in twos. There was Murray Valmer and Genghis Vauvouz, the one you could worship taking a snooze. He wrote, Christ spoke from a mound, which is a pile of ground, and people gathered around without making a sound. Thus he spake, sin in socks, socks full of sin, how shall we quiet this Jehovah begin? Do unto others as others do unto you. That includes you, Timothy Foo. And one Pharisee said to another he knew, what shall we do about this uppity Jew? Wash him in wine and make him all clean, and into Sam Biddle's crucifixion machine. Twirl the gorl and release the fleas, and then go the nails as fast as you please. And he said as he bled, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. because they walk through this world wearing two crappity shoes. Do you? Amen. That was the Dr. Seuss Bible by the kids in the hall. It's a sketch. It's one of the most brilliant sketches ever made. I love it. Poppy seed, here we come. Black seed bagels, black seed bagels. Black seed bagely, black seed bagely, black seed bagely bagels. Black seed, black seed, black seed, blackity, blacky, black seed. That song sounds a lot like the Frank Sinatra song "Married with Children." It must be in the same key or something. I don't know. Whenever I hear that song, I always think that it's the Frank Sinatra song. But it's actually "Take Me to the Ball Game." Love and marriage, love and marriage. Blah 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 blah. Okay, it's 5:30. Oh, wow. Thanks for watching, everybody. No, the Dr. Seuss Bible. Yeah, I can get some Starbucks cold brew. Cold brew. I get cold brew with cold foam. That's my go-to coffee. Oh, thank you. Good voice. I need to practice my voice. Great stream. Oh, thank you. Thanks for watching. Okay, I'll do a donation button. Get that donation button. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow morning. 3:30 to 5:30. And yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Excuse me. Have a wonderful day. And yeah, see you tomorrow. Okay, I'll get the mods done, yeah. Thank you for watching. Have an excellent day.